Hello, Randi Rain here. Time to get back to this bad boy. I'm going to get him open, see if I can't get him working again. This is
Randi's Robot Refurbish!
So what I want to do on this episode 2 of the OmniBot 2000, is go in and check all the motors. If they're not working, get them working. And once I get them working, I want to put the head and the arm out of position so that when I turn it on, it has to reset, because I want to see if it's working internally. So I'm just going to get started, open this thing up. Take all the batteries out. I guess I'll be redoing the time again. Down to the gearbox for the drive system. Okay, this is the one that changes the gears. This is the 2 drive motors. I am pretty sure that this is the one that works. I'm pretty sure that's the one I hear when I turn the thing on. So let's put some power to this. That one works. The gear looks to be in good shape. Alright, let's check this one. That one works fine. Uh-oh. Looks like we got one that's not working here. My new soldering iron works great. Alright, the first thing I'm going to try is just getting some WD-40 in here and see if that fixes it. Just clean it up some before I start taking it apart. Get some power on it. Oh, got it. Let that run for a while. So the wires coming off of here, blue is going to be the limit switch, gray and purple is the motor, and the red and brown is a motor, and the yellow and orange is a motor. Okay, now. Okay, so on this plug there's a 4 connection, a 2 connection, and a 2 connection. The 4 are the 2 motors, there's 2 and 2. For each side of the motors. This one over here that's coming to the blue, that's your limit switch. This one over here is the motor to the transmission. Okay, so now let's put this back. So now I'm going to test it with it hooked up to the wheels. Alright, moving on. So now I'm going to take this little extension shell off here, and I'm going to see where all these wires are going to. So the motors and the limit switch are looks like are going straight to the circuit board, but the transmission motor is stopping off right here. It's probably just power. Brown is going to the speaker, so that's probably an audio out. Then you have this. So the motor for the transmission is coming in here. You can follow the traces and they come to this RC plug. You can see it's coming up here. Looks like the 4th pin right here. Get this apart. Okay, let's go ahead and take the head off. Take the arm off. Put this back together. And set that aside. Probably, I'm going to start here. Well, that's pretty interesting, but I think I need to put this back and go the other direction. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have started up here. There's a screw underneath here. The upper part of the arm has this motor. The gear is going to be on there. It's going to eventually gear down to turning these things. And there's, obviously as this turn, there's limit switches here, here, and here. So let's go inside here. Typical motor. Has the 10-tooth gear on there. Doesn't slide off easy, so I'm going to pretend it's good. That one's going to turn this big one here, which is going to turn the little worm drive, which is just going to turn this gear, and then this gear is on your spring, so the spring is holding it as strong as it can, but then if anybody grabs the arm, it wants to slip right here, so it's going to slip on the pressure. That's just like a safety device here on the spring. So it gets transferred here, transferred all the way down. Motor works fine. It's connected to this blue and green on the plug that plugs in. Blue and green is controlling the motor. So I stuck some wires here to make this turn on. So it looks like only this little piece sticking out here is either going to hit this one or go all the way around and hit this one. So it hit there, then it go around. So it hit there. So where that is going to be important on where you put this arm. So I'm going to hold off for setting that to anything right now. Alright, moving on to this one, which I really should have opened like this. Alright, since I got to start and figure it out from the beginning, let's just have a look at the motors here. It looks good on the gear, no split. Motor works. Motor works on that one. I think the gear's okay on that one. Since I'm cleaning it, might as well take the claw apart too. So the rubber on mine looks really good. It's not cracked or anything, so I'm going to hit it with some Armor All. There we go. Those look pretty good. So for right now, I'm going to put this for the limit switches right in the very center, so I have some play to go in either direction. And then brown and orange is what's going to open and close the claw. So I'll do that, but it has limit switches, so I'm only going to do it just a tad. Just enough to see if that big fat gear in there moves. So now to calibrate these limit switches with this. So when this pulls out, going this way, that is all the way closed. This one's going to have to be turning that way. It's going to be turning counterclockwise. So it's going to hit this switch here. That's the one that's going to stop it. If I go all the way and hit that one, close the claw up completely when it gets put in place. And now put this on. There we go. That's in. Okay, let's give it another test. This is the wrist spinning. Okay, it looks like the best way to calibrate this thing is to get this parallel, this piece here, parallel with everything else. Wrong direction. Too much. more. Ah. Okay, that's pretty good. And then if you took this and locked it into place, and then you put it parallel, onto where it needs to go, so that it's parallel, and so it's everything's straight. You should be able to take this off, leaving the gear where you need it to be. So now I can take this off, put this through, and put this into place. Okay, so now get that piece all screwed together, feed this through, put that into place, screw it down. Okay, now feed this through, get this into place. It should be parallel. Alright, moving on to the head. So see, we have a limit switch here. This is probably eyes, and the other one is probably the motor. Okay, well, let's see what happens when I pull on this now. Yeah, green's gonna be the eyes. Neat little gearbox for the head. Well, I might as well see what shape this thing's in. Looking about as good as the other stuff. I don't see anything bad. Pop the motor out and test it. Yep, we have motor turning. Gear seems fine. Alright, so here's what we have. Motor, small gear, getting reduced down, small to big, small to big. Another little clutch system, so it's only spring held here, so if there's any unwanted force put on all this, it's going to slip right here. Travels down, angle gear, changes direction. So we have this gear ending right here. Yeah, like that. So red and orange is the motor, and then there's black and brown here is the limit switch. So if this thing went up in here, I just put it right in the center. Now I got some pins stuck in here for the leads. Okay, so you have to line the front of it up with the head, and then this gets dropped in. You want this little design going forward with the eyes, which will put the limit switch just closing. It seems like this limit switch, all it does is find center. It doesn't find the ends of how far it can turn. Hook some power up to it, that direction. You'll see what's stopping is this right here hitting on this. There's no limit switch stopping it. It's just going to there. Now if I reverse it, come up to here, and as soon as it hits that, it knows it's at the center because I've set it at the center. And the only thing that's going to be stopping it is when it hits this side over here. So more than likely what happens is when you turn this thing on and it resets itself, if this switch is disconnected as it is now, then it's going to turn the head this direction, the other direction, all the way until it's not. And that's going to make it straight. So let's say when you turn this thing on and it's going to reset, if this switch is connected as it is now, it's going to turn it until it isn't. And that's going to make it straight. That's the only thing that limit switch is doing, is finding center. The boundaries are set by these pins. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and do the other arm and clean it up. And we might as well see what's inside here. That means using the hairdryer and getting this decal off. Okay, that's how that goes. Okay, and then this just goes like that. There's nothing in here. What needs to happen is this is going to go in like that. And this needs to be parallel. I put this gear and lock it in place. And I put it so that it is parallel. And that's where that gear needs to be. And you take that off. And this can get put on. So not much more I can do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together. I've got the arm so it sticks out straight. So should reset. There's that. Okay, so it's put together now. Arm is straight, clamp is open, wrist, to see what happens. Arm is working, coming down. Clamp is closing, that's a good sign. That's new. It never beeped at the end. And that should show that it's working. Now I cleaned the crap out of this remote. So, arm up. Wrist turn. A little stressful there, but it seems to be turning. See, we open up the clamps. Let's see. More arm up. Let's see. There's the head. Okay, OmniBot sound. Lights on, off. Turn, forward, backwards. Well, look who has a working OmniBot 2000 now. Wow, that surprised me actually. I didn't think it was going to work actually. This surprised me when this thing moved. That was crazy. So, it still needs a little bit more work. Like the head is, I'm pretty sure that just the head is dirty on this thing because the tape player didn't work very well when it played back the sounds, or it didn't record very well. One of the two, I don't know. Could be the tape as well. I have something too tight or something's weird in the wrist as it twists. There's a little crunchiness in there that I need to work out. But I need to do that. Obviously I can fix that. And I need to put the decals back on the arms. So next is to make tires for this thing. And that's what the next episode's going to be about. So if you need tires for yours, check the links below. Follow them. There's part of my Patreon. And there's a PayPal link as well. And if you go to my Patreon, you can also just become a Patreon. I give away cool stuff that I make. Check into that if you want to help support this. So, alright, next time, tires, OmniBot tires. That was
Randy's Robot Refurbish.
Get these paper towels here. Get to cleaning. And something's funky there. A little too tight sounding.